I'm showing 5:30. Ken, are you rolling? 3, 2, 1. I'm calling this meeting to order. This is 5:30 on July 29th, a special meeting. If we could first start by standing and we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you so much. I usually have some kids do it, but I don't see any kids here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great. Welcome, everybody. I'm sure everybody's here just for the cemetery task force tonight, right? Okay, besides that on the agenda. No, we're meeting with policies and procedures from the governor's office and the Open Meetings Act. So there'll be a time for comment, and I'll go through that in a minute. But at this point, I'd like to have the roll call, please, clerk.
Carter.
Present.
Janetti.
Here.
Krenz.
Here.
Morosky Brown.
Here.
Turnbull.
Great. We have a full quorum tonight. We had to start a little early because I wanted everybody here tonight. Everybody's busy in life, but we're usually an hour after, but we could get everybody here at 5:30. So that's why we're here tonight. I'm going forward with, if you haven't, I see some first timers, not too many. This is the agenda. I'm kind of your master of ceremonies besides the mayor here. We're on number 3, the approval of the agenda. Very simple agenda tonight. One item for new business on the cemetery restoration. Then we have a closed door session that's on there, but I'm looking for approval of the agenda that you have in front of you. Do we have that?
So moved.
So we have a motion. We have support. Any other discussion? Great. I think we can do this one. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Great. It's great to have unanimous activity. So the next thing is public comment, number 4. Tonight, all the public comment, I'm going to do it before we go to a closed door session. And it shouldn't be a long closed door session. It's just to answer some questions here tonight. So I will say, I would stay here. There may or may not be a motion when we come back, but sometimes it'll be a long session. I don't think it's going to be really long. It's just to answer some questions here tonight. So with that, if you have anything that you would like to bring up, also including the cemetery restoration, I'm not going to do a second open comment on that. If you want to talk about the cemetery restoration team, this would be the time. I know you're all here for that. Also, anything that's going on in Northville, I know those streets, once in a while, I think that's what most of you are here for. Anything that's on your mind, this is a one and only time we're going to have comments from the audience. Again, it's not question and answer. You have 2 minutes, and this is just comments from everybody out there. So from that, you have 2 minutes. We might have a few here. Remember, I do it in council and I do it online. Sometimes we have 100 people online. Everybody has a chance. So at 2 minutes, I will say thank you. That means wrap up that sentence. That does mean wrap up the sentence. So from there, I'm opening it up for public comment. And if you have that, come right up to the mic, give your full name and address, and you have 2 minutes, and the timer is right to your right if you're looking for that. Go right ahead.
Good evening, James Masternardi at 991 McDonald Drive. I rise today to speak in support of the continuation of seasonal street closures through a lawsuit appeal. A small handful of unhappy people with time, money, and hidden relationships conspired to upend democracy and delegitimize duly elected officials. The organization behind the suit has been shrouded in faceless secrecy by concealing its membership and donors under a 501c4. Their public purpose is raising awareness of city issues, the city of Northville, its residents, property owners, businesses, and to engage in activities thereof. We are not fooled by their misleading word salad of positive ambiguity. Their actions and public statements show their true intent, which is to peddle vigilante opinions and agendas of their own choosing without being elected or to support the voting majority. The vile nature of a few, along with undisclosed financial backing, makes for an interesting nonprofit, I'd say. The community never asked for a group of internet keyboard warriors and self-proclaimed experts with an agenda of constant dissenting views and negativity. Rather than provide facts and data, they continue through anecdotal stories and opinions. This embarrassment continues online with the deplorable language language and personal attacks while portraying a positive, disingenuous facade in local news. The motion to remove permitted outdoor dining under threat of bench warrants, arrests, and penalties is outrageous. Outdoor dining provides additional local jobs and profits. Clearly, the circus seeks to tell us when and in what manner we can, as our community, can enjoy our beautiful downtown while parking spots are readily available. Public information shows the county judge and plaintiff attorney have a long history together in 3rd District Court related to family law as a court-appointed counsel. There doesn't seem to be a history of expertise in plat and land law. An appeal is necessary to ensure that the standing was valid and the judgment was correctly supported by experts with no prior standing relationship. Street closures provide vitality and modernization with the residents and help with struggling businesses. Community over cars has grown to be greater than the faction that tries to divide us.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
You bet. Next, anybody else that'd like to speak in council chambers before I open it up online? This would be the time. Full name and address, if you would, that would be great. Yeah, I've got, and I say, so they can all hear you at home. That's why you're on the microphone here. Thank you.
Of course. My name is Kim Gerns. My address is 46065 Frederick. I have lived in the township for 34 years. I'm also a business owner. I own Intermittent Productions. We were blessed this year to become the partner with the Marquee Theater to do their theater programs. We were in theater sessions when the roads were closed. We saw what the city looked like. They opened up the last couple of weeks, our camps, we were on the streets again, and they look totally different. The vitality that having the streets closed has brought back to our city is the best I've seen in the 34 years I've lived here. I love sitting on the street and seeing neighbors and waving. I love being able to have that rapport with everybody. The fact that now they opened up the streets and this group won that, and now they're going after the seating. They're not about the community and they're not about what we want in this community. What they are about is yielding power for some agenda. The last gentleman spoke very eloquently about what he believes their agenda is. I don't know these people. I don't rub elbows with these people. What I do know is when I see people in strollers walking down the middle of the street, kids that are comfortable playing there, the games that are out there, the restaurants, the cities, I see so many dads watching their kids while mom goes in shopping. Don't tell me that this is ruining what we've got going on. This is doing nothing but supporting what's going on. And as a business and doing the camps, I want to be able to have those kids draw on the sidewalks, go across to the courtyard and have lunch and not have to worry about the cars going through the street. This is what all modern forward-thinking cities are doing now. They're closing off and creating these spaces for us to come together as community. Opening up these streets has totally changed that vibe again. And I think we need to go back to where we were and have the 6-month closures. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Kim. You gave us 5 seconds back. Thank you. Next, and come right up to the mic. And if you're going to speak, you can just line up or be behind so we understand. So we're not wasting as many seconds here. It's all yours.
Hi, Robert Lyons, 355 First Street. Yeah, I just feel like that the city is being bullied by some unknown organization that has deep pockets, and I feel like that's a real shame. I live around the corner from here. I have a 2-year-old. We come down and we go through the streets, and like it was just spoken, my wife goes in the store. I watch him run around. And I just feel like the city is being bullied, especially since there is already an agreement, a compromise, even from the full year to the seasonal, which I thought was a very respectable, agreement between the two parties. And I think it's sad that with kind of how it's changed now. But one argument that I've heard from people is that, it's diverting traffic to some of the other streets. As someone who drives down the streets every day, when the streets are open, it's actually much more difficult to make right and left-hand turns. So if you actually want to turn down there, it's more difficult. And so it's not really giving you any advantage. I work in Ann Arbor, and so many of the people I work with actually live in Saline and other surrounding communities. And they've mentioned to me, they're like, oh, I saw that the streets are being opened again. That's a real shame because we used to like to go down there and have dinner on the, where the streets were closed. And these are people who aren't in Northville, right? They're coming from other cities. They're supporting our local business. And any support that we can have to just have the seasonal change, I think is a good one. And I fully support.
Thank you, Robert. Anybody else from council chambers? Step right up, full name and address. Thank you.
Good evening, Therese Grassi, 512 West Dunlap Street. I know that personally know there are good people who are passionate on both sides of this argument. They're thoughtful. They have their opinions. I personally, we prefer the streets closed. But more important than that is I believe in a representative form of government. We have to take that back. We elected city council. We did not elect a group that chooses to remain largely unknown. In fact, when I got knocked off their site because I asked for some transparency. They were not elected. You folks were. You folks need to make the decision. And I agree that we're being bullied into doing what they want us to do. And so I wonder, like, what's next? What's the next thing that they won't like that they'll take us to court on? So I think that the fact that they have now gone after the 10 parking spots because the judge said what the judge said, they didn't have to file that motion, the emergency motion. They chose to do that. There are businesses that rely on the summer business season to cover some of the slower months of the year. And I just think that that was a horrible thing for the other side to do. And I implore council to please appeal the case. You folks are in charge. We elected you. We did not elect the other group. Thanks.
Thanks, Therese. Anybody else in council chambers? Come right on up. Get full name and address.
Hi, Dan Farrell, 729 Gray Street. I've only known summer in Northville, no cars downtown, and I loved it. It was one of the reasons I moved in. When the streets had to open, I was upset, but I also kind of thought, hey, am I overreacting? Do I not know what that looks like? But I've been able to see it for the last 2 weeks, right? And I mean, I went to Lucy's with my wife, had a great dinner. I've been to Great White Buffalo. I had a good time there. But instead of going to instead of going to Brown Dog to celebrate with my son, I went to Guernsey's. Instead of going to Center Street Grill to have family night pizza night, I went to Jets. So, I mean, I'm still able to have fun as an adult with my wife downtown, but my family's not enjoying it the way that we used to before when the streets were closed. So I appreciate everything that the council has done. I support Northville having a safe, friendly family downtown without cars. Thank you.
Right. Thanks, Dan. Anybody else in council chambers? Come right up, you bet.
Good evening. My name is Jeff Jacobs, 1033 Glen Hill Drive. I come before you tonight as the Antichrist. Based on some of the accusations and comments that I've heard, I am not a member of Let's Open Northville, but in full disclosure, I do believe we should keep the streets closed. If we go back, I think we've lost sight of why the streets were originally closed, which was to enable businesses to maintain their revenue streams in a very difficult time due to COVID. Somewhere along the way, we lost sight of that. And I've heard no discussion about what it is the community, the city council wants to do to help those businesses continue the revenue stream if the streets continue to be closed. The original discussion was we will open the streets when COVID is over and the businesses in town can recoup and recover. Now we're talking about keeping the streets closed because we can throw bean bags into cornhole, whatever those games are. In the meantime, we're spending $1 million or more to upgrade Ford Field with all of the amenities and all of the activities that are available down there. But instead, we want to ignore that $1 million and keep the streets closed so we can continue to entertain ourselves there. I don't know why or where or how that discussion changed. All we've done is flip-flop back and forth on all the reasons the streets should or shouldn't be open. There's no consistency. We're throwing businesses into disarray. And for those of you who think it's one-sided, and as I say, I'm not a part of Let's Open Northville. I believe myself to be a reasonable person. I went on the community over cars or whatever in some of the websites. We closed the streets to keep businesses open. Now we've got people on the other side of the conversation who want to boycott the businesses that are supporting what we're doing on the streets. Well, what a short-sighted, misguided approach is it that we put out of business our neighbors and friends who own businesses on the street because we want the streets closed when that was the original intent.
Thanks,
And I would encourage you tonight to ask yourselves, what's the price of winning? I don't agree with the whole conversation about the parking spaces going away, but what is the cost of winning this conversation? And I think it's time we show some wisdom and say, who's going to take the first step on bringing the community back together so we're not slandering each other in this room?
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. Thank you. Next. He will adjust that mic. Jeff was a little taller.
Hi, I'm Patricia Karagian, 422 Dubar Street. I've lived in the community for 25 years. I'm also not part of the Let's Open Northville. I don't know what that community, I didn't know there was a group I could have joined, but just a couple comments. The last couple of meetings, businesses have come forward and given their revenue relationship from when the streets were open versus when the streets were closed, their revenues have dropped. So the businesses are seeing a decline in business because of the street closures. If we want a booming, thriving downtown Northville, how are we going to entice new businesses to come to Northville if the current businesses are complaining that they're losing business because of the street closures? Second of all, someone mentioned that it's a current up-to-date model for cities to close their streets. Birmingham doesn't close its streets. Plymouth doesn't close its streets. South Lyon doesn't close its streets. Those are all really thriving communities. Ann Arbor does close the streets, but only on the weekends. So I think we need to look at those other communities and see, well, wait a minute, if it's so great, why aren't they doing it? And finally, I'm going to revisit my comment I made a couple meetings ago. We need parking. I mean, I do agree that maybe those restaurants should get a couple of those spots because that is nice to have outdoor seating. I mean, the kids playing, there's plenty of sidewalks. There's a downtown square for the kids to play. But parking is an issue. If you close the streets, I think I did the math, it's like 40 or 60 parking spots that we lose. If we were to do a parking structure behind the Marriott Marquis, that large parking lot, it could be very attractive. I think people think parking structures are an eyesore. You can do it very, very nicely. And you can consider Birmingham's model where the first 2 hours are free and then you start charging and maybe allow the people who live downtown Northville to buy a monthly pass. So if parking is the argument, we definitely need a parking structure behind the Marriott Marquis. We went downtown, I think on a Monday morning this week, and I couldn't find a parking spot downtown. So, but again, the businesses are the ones we need to support, and absolutely we should not boycott them. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Patricia. Anybody else in council chambers tonight? Come right up. Full name and address. Thank you.
Hi, Susan Johnson, 816 Springfield Drive. I've been a resident of the city of Northville for over 20 years. I've raised my kids here. And I did submit written comments, so I won't go through all of those. But one of the issues I wanted to address was the handicap parking, and the comments that made it sound like the closing of the streets somehow took something away from those of us who are mobility challenged. I have made more use of the downtown area since the closure of the streets than I ever did before. There are days when I can't walk more than a half a block. Those parking spaces that were lost during the closure were never guaranteed for handicaps parking. Rarely was I able to get a spot anyhow in front of one of these businesses. One of the things the city did to address those issues for those of us with mobility challenges was putting the passway through. So I do find ways to get dropped off still or find closer parking. But I think it's a little disingenuous to say that taking away those parking spots somehow hurts those of us who are mobility challenged. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Anybody else in council chambers? This would be the time.
Richard Graham, 790 Carpenter, and also with Move Northville Forward. Just a couple items. What really, I guess, aggravated me over the last couple of weeks is first on, there's a small radical fringe group, on their Facebook page, they decided to take a picture of children playing in the streets, and they posted it on their Facebook page. That tells you, when you talk about fighting, that tells you what that side is about. They're about using anything, including small children, to their advantage. That could be any of our children. That was on their Facebook page. Small children playing in the street. Horrendous, horrific what they did. The second is the dining, the closing, trying to get the restaurants out of the dining area, out of the street. These businesses, they talk about trying to thrive. Well, that's when they thrive, is in the summertime. Restaurants thrive in the summertime, not in January in the middle of winter. So they're trying again, small fringe group, to yield and to really try to control things. We came from a community. My family came from a community when a small group defined that community for years. They were bullies. They were intimidators. They damaged the city beyond belief, wielding their power, wielding their money. That was a part of the change in that community 2 years ago. We did blood, sweat, and tears. You could only imagine what they try to do to my family. That's, again, what they will try to do to other people. And you saw it by taking pictures of children in the street. So, with that, there's no question the majority of the residents in the city are for the street closures. There's no question that the majority of the businesses are for the street closures. Again, you're being controlled by a small group that doesn't really want to be known. Put their names out there, let everybody know. And maybe even some of those, they should pay their taxes on time.
Thank you, Richard. Next, Mr. Himley.
William Hundley, Tuscan Cafe, downtown Northville here. I just wanted to reach out to you guys and say we're fully in support of closing the streets. And we'd like you guys to fight to do whatever you can to keep that up. We definitely, as a business, see that as a positive thing. We've seen the community thrive. We've seen businesses thrive. And we challenge everybody to make the best of those uses. We really like it and we want to see it continue. So I'm not going to take any more time. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Himley. Anybody else in council chambers? Just come on up.
John Roach, 315 Pennell. I've been here before. I encourage you to file an appeal. Seriously. Thank you.
Look at John. Next, from Katie Street.
So the last two were really short. If I could have their 4 minutes.
You can have, but we're noted. Thank you. Start that baby.
Time this for
I
3
know.
minutes. I didn't
Okay,
realize.
2 minutes.
So Jen Lukehart, 521 West Katy Street. Tim and I support the council's ongoing efforts utilizing our downtown as a pedestrian-only zone. After reading the court's order and subsequent motion to force the city to discontinue street dining, we hope the council will do whatever they have to do to appeal and ultimately to apply to amend the plat if that's warranted. Many of our downtown neighbors strongly disagree with the lawsuit. Many of us have abstained from involving ourselves to minimize divisiveness in an already divisive political climate. With the latest news from the judges' chambers, we're done being quiet. When the streets were closed, there was no such thing as a quick walk through downtown with a dog. We almost always ran into neighbors, friends, and even met quite a few new people that we would have never met otherwise. Losing the pedestrian-only zone is a real loss for our community. We are 30-year residents right here on Katy Street in the Historic District. We've seen a lot of changes, and change can be good. When COVID arrived, we supported the city's decision to make downtown a pedestrian-only zone. The zone made downtown an even better place to live. Many don't seem to remember that the city had street-side platform dining well before COVID. I remember because I helped approve it when I was part of the HDC, and I think that was at least 10 years ago.
Yes.
Not everybody has the place that Tuscan has with the wider sidewalks. I don't feel like it's safe. I don't feel comfortable eating in the streets with, we know how good it can be. I don't want to go back. Regardless of what you decide, I hope you'll consider a few changes for safety downtown as soon as possible. Today at 1:15, I got caught in the middle of the intersection at Main and Center for about 30 seconds, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're sitting in the middle of Main and Center, it is a lot. I waited for a few cars in front of me to drop someone off in front of Genetti's. I understand you've got a lot of customers who have physical needs and limitations, but I'd like to propose that one of the parking spots be a drop-off only spot. Can I finish? I'm almost done.
One sentence.
Okay. Let me pick which one I want. So it's my understanding that although there has been lots of talk, no one has come forward to run for mayor and council, and you all know why. I know why, because it's hard. It's easy sitting behind your keyboard, slandering people, slandering your neighbors and the people who we've elected. So I am urging you, I hope the city will fight this lawsuit and I hope our leadership will consider applying for the plat amendment. Thank you for your time.
Thank you,
Thanks for
Jen.
letting me go.
That was a long run-on sentence. We appreciate it. Good. Anybody else in council chambers? Right up to the mic. Thank you.
Sharon Simon, 745 Spring Drive. I didn't plan on speaking today, so this may not be totally polished, but my husband took my newborn, my 2-year-old out of the room. So
Yeah.
I got myself a minute or so. My husband and I, when we were looking for a house last year, we strongly considered Birmingham and Northville. Those were our two kind of main options. Great neighborhoods, great schools, and a vibrant downtown. And ultimately we chose Northville due to the pedestrian zone. I think, you know, some people have said other cities maybe aren't modeling it because it doesn't work. To me, that makes it a unique advantage. It's the reason my family chose to live here. It's the reason we wanted to raise our family here. It's the reason why friends come to our home and we walk downtown and all 6 of us adults with our 6 wild children are grabbing drinks or food or stopping into a shop to get a housewarming gift or a wedding shower gift or a baby shower gift. You know, I don't have a lot of time to shop these days, but I'm going to walk with my son. That's when I go to Dancing Eye Gallery. That's where I've stopped into Dear Prudence. The tea shop, I'm drawing a blank on the name, excuse me, next to the square. I wouldn't be making those stops or purchases without the safe, enjoyable, quiet area to be. I love going to get a muffin with my son in the morning at Tuscan. I'm not interested in doing that with a semi truck rolling by. The noise, the gas, the smells. So while I'm not naive enough to think everything has been perfect, and I'm not naive enough to think there aren't ways that we can improve and better support the whole community, I don't think that moving backwards is the way to go.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. I think I've seen you walk by with the kids in Orchard Heights. Absolutely, indeed. Thank you. Anybody else from council chambers tonight? Anybody going once? Come right up. Absolutely. It's still open.
I'm Tyson Navarre. I live at 914 Ely Court, just north of town. One thing I wanted to ask the council is that if the pedestrian zone is something that we're interested in sustaining and carrying forward, how can we help? So, you know, a community group has formed around the concept of keeping it going. Right now, we could definitely use some guidance from you as to how we can best make our voices heard.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tyson. Anybody else in council chambers tonight? Mr. Johnson. Tim.
Hi, my name is Tim Johnson, 47234 Dunsany in Northville. I'll be very quick. I just want to encourage city council to appeal the ruling. Everything's been said before. I really think you need to appeal this and take control of the city back.
Great. Thank you, Tim. And again, if you put letters in before the meeting that we had before and tonight, we have all those in the package. I expect everybody to read those. So if you put it online, if you contacted us via mail or phone, we have all that communication. We have a package I expect everybody to read. So if you've been here before, you don't have to say it again. We have read it before this meeting tonight. I have great expectations of everybody here. So come right up. With that, I gave you a little time to think about something to say. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Aaron Comp, 19340 Scenic Harbor Drive. I did speak at the last special meeting, so instead of just going to add, I am in favor of appealing this decision or also finding other methods like, sorry about that, other methods like putting it on a ballot. So really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Aaron. Glad I gave you that time. Anybody else in council chambers? I will shift to online. Oh, take your time. I would have done a 3 count, so I'll do that. Then go right ahead.
Michelle Lucier, 548 West Dunlap Street, Lucy and the Wolf, and Table 5. I know you guys know where I stand on this, but my biggest concern is the appeal just so that you guys get control of the streets again. I mean, to see what a great job the DDA did, like immediately hopping on, only given 7 days. I mean, originally, I think we were supposed to have at least 21. And given 7 days, they came up with the best solution that they could. And then to find out a week later, even that's being fought. Now, from what I understand, I'm kind of grandfathered in on that, which I don't necessarily think is fair by any means. And I don't think another restaurant's going to come to town if we're the only ones that are left with the ability to do this. I mean, if they have a location that's on the street like we are, why would they come? But I just really believe that this should be your decision, not a judge's decision. So anyway, that's it.
Thank you, Michelle. And again, DDA did a great job. 6 months work in about 6 days, in my opinion. So I thank Kate and all of her team for doing that. It was outstanding. Go right ahead. Sorry.
Hi, everybody. My name is Megan Sclett Bentley. Like some folks, I was not planning on speaking tonight, but overall, I recently moved in, so I have only been in the neighborhood for about a month or so. However, in that time, I have taken my little boy, he's 2 years old, downtown walking countless times. And it's such a joy to see the families and the children just enjoying the downtown area and having that carefree spirit. I know personally, I have met so many people because, we've run into families with little children and, just to say hello, how are you? Or just little comments kind of trying to fit in with, and learn the neighborhood. Now I know that there are both, great people on both sides. Both sides have good points. And I do agree that we should not be, targeting folks or businesses, and it's all about supporting the downtown. However, I do believe that you guys were elected for a reason. And I do believe in, you guys taking that control back, and I do support and strongly encourage for the appeal.
Thank you, Megan. And did we get your address, Megan, or did I just not hear it?
Sorry. 217 Linden.
Okay, good. Thank you very much.
You tell I'm new.
Yeah, no problem. Is there anybody else in council chambers before I go online? Going once, going twice? Ms. Johnson.
I got proof here. Lori Johnson, 47234 Dunsany Road in Northville. I am not new to this. I've been doing this for probably 4 years. I'm aging as I'm doing it. But so many times you guys have heard me talk, and a lot of times I say I'm here on behalf of families who are raising kids and building businesses and living their lives. And it's because they can't always make it to meetings, and they can't always be aware of all the things that are happening in the news, or even what's going on with the lawsuit, or how the lawsuit's going, or what's happening. But there was a big wake-up call, and the big wake-up call was the streets reopened in the middle of the summer season. So I have personally been involved, and I'll admit it, with a group of people who are really seeking with all good intentions to support downtown Northville. Many people are coming forward now. It is very comforting and heartening to know that the efforts that myself and some other people who have been following this so long are now hearing from the people who I've tried to represent, because truly, the community does want this. And very many more people than the few businesses that are a part of wanting the streets to always just be open. Very many businesses want the streets closed. They have stated, whether publicly or in their groups with their people, with their clients, that they do prefer the streets to be closed for pedestrian traffic. But it's true, there's negativity out there, and the negativity scares people off on both sides. Fair. The group that is raising now up in the community as Community Over Cars truly is intending to support downtown and to not do anything that would be negative, that only has positive intentions to say, we want this, we love this, businesses love this, communities love this, it is a good thing. I am personally knocking anyone off the Facebook page for Community Over Cars if there's negativity. We're working hard to keep it positive.
Thank you very much, Lori. Is there anybody else in council chambers here tonight before I hold it off? Now it's just Jason.
Oh, boy. Jason Turnbull, 453 Gray Street. So I'll keep it brief. I just want to say on the record again that I am pro outdoor dining. I'm for flexible closures, and I'm also for the seasonal closures. And sample of one, I will say that I'll be open to paying a little more taxes to fight for what's right for our community, for our long-term growth of our developments, and just to keep a safe city center. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. Your taxes will increase tomorrow. Thank you. Good. Is there anybody else in council chambers? This is your time. Thank you. It's great to have you here tonight.
Hello, everyone. Again, I wasn't going to speak, but you already know. So I'm Stephanie Richards, your Wayne County liaison for the Wayne County Sheriff's Office. And so I will not be speaking, of course, on behalf of Northville, because I'm Northville resident. However, because I am your community liaison, I am moved beyond belief on the passion on both sides and your community engagement. And I just had to come up and say, I applaud you guys for caring enough about your community to wanting to be involved and having to say, and I have to commend you, Mayor. Everybody who stood up here before they even got here, you already knew their name and you already addressed them. And you know, every time I reach out to you, you are the first person who responds to me, your own self, not a representative of yours, but you. And I just want to say thank you. And I really respect and appreciate you.
Thank you, Stephanie. I paid her a lot for that. Is there anybody else in council chambers here? Going once, going twice? I'm closing it off for comments here. If you could, Ken, tell them online how to hit the button and raise their hand, and we'll put them in a sequence here.
Will
Right
do.
ahead,
Thank you,
Ken.
Mr. Mayor. And just a quick numbers check. We've got about 51 people in our YouTube audience.
Great.
We do have a couple people that have called in already. Anyone that is listening currently or watching on YouTube and you would like to call in to our comment line, the instructions are at the top of the agenda. Just call the toll-free number and we will bring you into the meeting. There are a couple people already in the queue or in the call line. We just ask that if you want to make public comment, you press *9 on your keypad. You just need to press *9 on your keypad. And as you enter the queue, we will call the last 4 digits of your phone number.
So at this point, Ken, I don't see anybody with their hands up. Let's give them another call. They're called in. Tell them to put *9 if they want to speak.
Yes,
They've heard that.
the 2
I'll give
callers that
another
are
couple
on the
seconds.
comment line now, if you would like to speak, we'll need you to raise your virtual hand by pressing *9.
I think we've given them about 3 different times. I'm going to talk for another moment to give them that 4th chance. Ken, again, tell them, and then I'm going to.
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. One last time for the callers that are called into the comment line, if you would like to make public comment, we ask that you press *9 on your keypad.
I want to mention it's last numbers.
Great. So the numbers that we have up there, the last of it is 7465. If you want to actually make a comment, *9, and 7909. If you want to make a comment, hit *9. Going once, going twice. I think I gave them a lot of opportunity. We're closing off public comment. That is unique. We get a lot of comments sometimes. So there's 50 people online listening to that. They all have a chance to talk in here tonight. I think a lot of them, we probably got their comments. We have them in the packages from this time and the time before. We have that whole stack, and I expect everybody to have read that. So we understand on both sides of life. So with that, we have closed off public comment. And there was nothing on the cemetery restoration. I can't believe it. I thought everybody was here for cemetery restoration tonight. So with that, let's go to the agenda items. The first thing on the agenda for new business, so that's on your scorecard here on number 5, new business. 5A is consideration of the MOU between Cemetery Task Force and the Northville Historical Society. Would you like to enlighten us on that, or Mr. Krenz, or the lawyer over there that's worked on?
This is a pretty straightforward issue for council. It would be a consent agenda item issue, but there's no consent agenda of one item.
Right.
So consideration of council approving a memorandum between the Cemetery Task Force for fundraising purposes to go through Mill Race Village, which is a 501c3. So nothing beyond that, I don't think.
Anything to add, Mr. Krenz?
No, this allows the Restoration Task Force the opportunity to raise and hold funds.
Great. So no, in general, we started task forces back in 2019 and 2020 on the river restoration, the pathway system, on Ford Field, on Farmers Market. You can see all those things come into fruition. Today, in the past year or so, we've started the cemetery restoration and the bicentennial committee. They're doing a great job and great work going forward. There's a lot of people on it. I think there's 40 people that are cleaning up the tombstones. If you haven't seen it, over here on Katy Street, we have Revolutionary War veterans. We have Civil War veterans. It's one of the oldest cemeteries in the state. We are bringing every stone up to their original look and beauty. So we're cleaning every stone. Some of them are underground. We have rebuilt them. If you haven't walked over there, I suggest strongly you do that. We'll put wrought iron fencing. We've cleaned up some of the oak trees, which are 250 years old. That's why it's called Oakwood. So this is tonight just to go forward. So the understanding that we have with them and a 501c3 so they can get different donations. They're doing a lot of work. So thank you very much,
Thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Krenz, for all you're doing. And he is the chairperson from the council and working with Mr. Merrill, David Merrill. So thank you so much for all your time and energy on that. So with that, any public comment on that? No, I've already done public comment.
I have.
Thank you very much. Did it one time. They got me.
And I do have.
Yeah, go right ahead.
I am very grateful that the Northville Historic Society, working with the task force, will be that conduit for donations. Well, a lot has been done. It's amazing. In the first year, there's much more to do. The city will support that, but we also need support because they're the stone cleaning. Some they can do, volunteers are trained and can do it. Others need to be done professionally. So I'm very grateful to this. One thing I want to bring to council's attention is at about 5:15, the packet was updated with the final memorandum of understanding as it was approved by the board. And I was at that meeting and I know that's when they approved it. You can see, like, if you look.
Historical Society of the Mill Race.
Yeah,
Board.
I'm the liaison. I don't vote.
Right.
I'm just
Right.
was there. So it was, nothing was done at that meeting that was like really substantive, but they dotted i's, crossed t's, made sure it was there. And so the one that was uploaded at 5:13, the clerk, I think it was is the current one. And to my understanding, having been there, there's nothing we have to worry about that's substantive in that change.
Great.
But that
No.
means the one that we approve, that the president of the board
Signed off.
signed off on, is one that the city can then sign. So we just make sure there's not another minor holdup with this. So that I just wanted to
Excellent. Thank you. As our liaisons person over there, you're doing a great job with the Mill Race Village and the Historical Society. Good. Any other comments on this one? If not, I'm looking for a motion to go forward, seeing I already did comments from there. You reminded me, duly noted. I'm looking for a motion to go forward.
Mayor, I move that the Northville City Council approve the attached MOU and allow the mayor or his designee to sign on behalf of the city.
Support. So I have a motion properly supported.
It's okay.
Double support over here. Appreciate it. The flying buttresses on either
Let the
side.
clerk determine who got it in.
Yep. Do the coin toss. With that, no other discussion on this? None?
You will have to, I think part of this is the mayor will have to appoint the designee. I assume that's probably myself.
It will be. Be careful what you wish for. You'll get it. Thank you. So thank you for all the work that you've done so far with the Cemetery Restoration Group. Good. So we have a motion properly supported. I think we can do this also. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, we're on to that. Again, you're going to see things all the time happening there. Wrought iron fencing, we've trimmed the trees, a gateway coming in. There'll be a stop on the bicentennial tour, maybe some brickwork in there, different history markers. It will be quite something, in the coming years. So stay tuned. I thank you all who are part of that task force. We can do the things in Northville because we have 6.5% of all of our citizens on task forces or commissions or different committees. It's outstanding. That's like Livonia or Canton having 7,000 people on these committees. We have a lot of assistance. We can only do it because all of you are doing all the work. So thank you very much for that. That's the commercial to thank you, Mr. Krenz, and all others that are in charge of different committees. So, okay, so let's go on to 5B. And this is a consideration of a closed session as part of our responsibility to the state of Michigan. We can go. It's not going to be very long. I'm going to have a vote to go to a closed session. We shouldn't be there very long. We may or may not, we will come back. We may or may not have a motion. Most likely we will. So you don't have to wait too long tonight. Sometime it's like War and Peace. Tonight, we're just answering some questions. We've already had one of those, so we've got a lot of questions. It's just to clarify different things in people's minds. So with that, would you like to
So we have to actually read the motion out.
read the motion, yourself or the city attorney?
I can read it on behalf of council. Consideration of closed session pursuant to MCL 15.2681H to discuss an attorney-client privilege memorandum that is exempt from disclosure pursuant to MCL 15.2431G and pursuant to MCL 15.2681E to consult with the city's attorney regarding settlement strategy in connection with the pending litigation of Let's Open Northville versus City of Northville, because an open meeting would have a detrimental financial effect on the litigating or settlement position of the public body.
Support.
So we have a motion. We have.
Or-
Actually, no, one of us
Oh,
has to.
so-
make the motion.
Well, here, so I'll.
So he read it, one of you
So moved.
four have so moved that is done properly. So we have a motion. Thank you for reading that motion. Duly noted again. Do we have support for that
Yes,
motion?
support.
And support. Any other discussion on this motion? This is just to go to closed session. Great. Let's do a roll call vote on that. Clerk, please.
Janetti,
Yes.
Krenz,
Yes.
Morosky Brown,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Turnbull.
Yes. So that puts us in closed session. We will go downstairs. You can stay right here. We'll be back shortly. Get a drink of water and then come on back and see what's going on. So we'll be right back in a little. I'm bringing us back into session. I'm doing a roll call vote. We are out of session. We are coming back in session. Clerk, if you could do a roll call vote to bring us back in session, please. A motion to come in session.
So moved.
Support. We have a motion, properly support. Any other discussion on that? No, we are coming back into session. Go right ahead, clerk.
Janetti,
Yes? No.
No, yes. Yeah, you want to come back to motion? Yeah.
Yes.
Krenz,
Yes.
Morosky Brown,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Turnbull.
Yes. So we are back now. It was a little bit longer than we thought. We had a lot of discussion down there. We're going to let different votes say what we want tonight. We could be here for another hour or so, but we have two different motions. And the first one I'm going to put over to Ann McLaughlin. And why don't you explain that first opportunity that we discussed that we're going to vote on here.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you know, the Let's Open Northville group has filed a motion to hold the city in contempt of court for what it believes is violation of the court's July 9th opinion and order by allowing outdoor dining in the 10 parking spaces along Main Street and Center Street. That motion is scheduled to be heard on August 6th, next Wednesday. As a way to avoid that motion and a decision from the judge, Let's Open Northville has made a proposal regarding the outdoor dining in the parking spaces. That proposal consists of the following. On-street dining must coincide with the summer school recess for safety reasons. The city will cap the number of parking spaces it uses for street dining or for any other purpose to a maximum of 8, commencing summer of 2026. If Center Street spaces currently being used for street dining are not used this year, those vacated spaces would no longer be available for increasing dining spots on Main Street. The city of Northville would reimburse Let's Open Northville for all of its legal expenses related to the contempt of court matter. Outdoor dining spaces, sidewalk and street must meet state of Michigan ordinance requirements for safety without exception as determined by the city police and fire chiefs, DPW director and city ordinance officer. No on-street dining space shall interfere with access for vehicular access to any adjacent parking space. During special events, when the bollards are up, temporary street dining with no limit may be added for additional accommodation and enjoyment. The DDA must authorize all outdoor dining, sidewalk and street dining and special events according to their established pre-COVID and City of Northville permit procedures and processes without exception. If the city council were to accept this proposal, it would be binding for forever, essentially, in the future.
Thank you, Ann. So with that, we had a great deal of discussion. I'm going to look for a motion to go forward. Do we accept that proposal or we don't? So I'm looking for a motion on.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make the motion. I move that Northville City Council reject the street dining settlement resulting from the contempt order from Let's Open Northville.
Support.
So we have a motion supported, properly supported. Any other discussion on this motion? Seeing none, I'd like a roll call vote on this motion, please, clerk.
Carter,
Yes.
Janetti,
Yes.
Krenz,
Yes.
Morosky Brown,
Yes.
Turnbull.
Yes. Great. So that's the first one. The second one, great deal of discussion. You're going to see this in a city statement tomorrow. We're going to spare you 2 or 3 hours of, our opinions on everything, but we're going to vote. Do we go forward on the proposal to look at the next activity legally? Do we go to the appellate court on their motion? Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
So under the advice of the city's attorneys, the city council will not be making individual statements at this time. We will be, due to the pending litigation, we will be issuing a city statement tomorrow, and I expect to see that for the public to explain the rationale.
Great. So with that, I am looking for a motion on this. Do we have that motion on the table?
I move to direct the city's attorney to appeal the July 9th opinion in the matter of Let's Open Northville versus the city of Northville.
Support.
So we have a motion properly supported. Is there any other discussion on this motion? You will hear it in a city statement tomorrow, correct? per your discussion there. So with that, without any discussion, I'd like another roll call vote on this. Clerk, please.
Morosky Brown,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Janetti,
No.
Krenz,
Yes.
Turnbull.
Yes. Great. We have a motion and it's supported to go forward there. That goes to number 6, Mayor and Council Communications. One, just wanted to thank everybody for being here tonight. We are trying to bring the city together. We are trying to look at what's best for the city. Both sides, these are great people on both sides. I've talked to a great deal of them. I've talked to every business person in the past month or two. I've talked to 200 or 300 citizens on this, and we all have. So I thank you for what you do. We couldn't do what we're doing in this city, whether it's Riverwalk or Farmers Market or Ford Field, without all the input from each and every one of you. This is one situation that we will come together. You can see by the statement tomorrow where we all kind of stand on that. But I thank you for what you're doing. You know where I'm coming from. That's enough for me to say tonight. Other council members.
I just want to thank everyone for being here and online. I have not had time to read the 50 some comments because we didn't get them until after 4:30. I look forward to reading each one of them, but I also value all the comments we've received over the past several years from those that support street closures and those that do not. They're all meaningful and they weigh in how we think things. But this most recent ones, I just want to say thank you again. We have a caring and committed community and we love our town. And so just move forward. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. John.
Only thing I'm going to add is I've said this before, but I feel like it does need to be repeated. Running a small business is incredibly difficult. So any references to boycotts, any fake reviews, it all needs to stop. I think everyone in this room, honestly, is aligned with that viewpoint, and we need to work with our neighbors to continue to reinforce that. Everyone is entitled to their opinions. We need to respect those opinions, but ultimately we need to support all of our businesses in our downtown. The other thing that I would highlight is, in general, personal attacks. I've said this going back for months. I think I was on record back in January talking about we needed to end the personal attacks that have taken place. I'll repeat once again, these are your neighbors. These are your friends. I know that we're worked up. I know there's a lot of energy behind this topic, but in the end, we gain nothing by attacking each other personally, and respected people can respectfully disagree. And so just taking a moment to keep that in mind as we move forward on both sides. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilperson Janetti.
I'm good. Thank you.
Good. Councilperson Krenz.
No, I'll just add to what Councilmember Carter said. Community is not just the amenities in the buildings, it's the relationships. And our kids are all watching how we're developing the relationships in this town. If you're going to post something that's extremely negative, is it something you would read to your kids? And if it's not, then let your better angels come out and do better. The entire community's watching. Be the example. Don't wait for someone else to do it. It's on you. Of course, no boycotting, no negative reviews. We all need to get above that. And that's all I ask. Thank you.
Great. I'm looking for a motion for adjournment. Do we have that motion tonight? Unless you want to hang around for a little longer.
I move to adjourn this meeting.
We have support. We have a motion properly supported. Any other discussion? I didn't think so. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay.